My cheating girlfriend just admitted why she's with me, and now everything feels like a lie. Hey Reddit. 3 years of love, 3 years of trust, 3 years of believing I had found my person, only for it all to come crashing down in the most brutal way possible. I always believed my girlfriend, Emily, was with me because she loved me. I thought our relationship was built on something real, something strong, something unbreakable. But last night, she confessed the truth. And now, I can't stop questioning everything. Emily and I met during our last year of college. She was everything I had ever wanted in a partner: smart, funny, kind, and absolutely stunning. I was head over heels for her from the moment we met, and to my absolute disbelief, she felt the same way. Or at least, that's what I thought. We quickly became inseparable, moving in together right after graduation. Life felt perfect. Sure, we had our ups and downs, but I always believed we were solid. Until last night. It started with a casual conversation over dinner. She seemed a little off, but I didn't think much of it at first. I asked her if everything was okay, and she hesitated before saying, "I need to tell you something." My heart skipped a beat, but I tried to play it cool. I told her she could tell me anything. That's when she took a deep breath, looked me straight in the eyes, and said, "I think you deserve to know the truth about why I'm with you." At first, I laughed it off, thinking she was joking. But the way she looked at me, the serious, almost guilty expression on her face, made my stomach twist into knots. I asked her what she meant, and she hesitated again, like she was debating whether to even say it. Then she finally spoke, and the words that came out of her mouth changed everything. She told me that when we first started dating, she was still in love with her ex. That our relationship was never supposed to last this long. That she only got with me because I was safe, because I was the nice guy, because she knew I would never hurt her the way he did. But the worst part? She admitted that even now, 3 years later, a part of her still isn't over him. I felt like the air had been sucked out of the room. My mind was spinning, trying to process what she had just said. This wasn't some meaningless fling. We had been together for 3 years. We had talked about marriage, about kids, about building a life together. And now she was telling me that from the very beginning, I was just a backup plan? That I was never her first choice? I asked her if she ever really loved me, if anything we had was real. She hesitated. And that hesitation alone told me everything I needed to know. She finally said, "I do love you. But..." And that "but" was enough to make my blood run cold. She said she loved me in a different way, that she loved the stability I gave her, the way I treated her, the way I made her feel safe. But when I asked her if she ever felt the same passion, the same deep, all-consuming love for me that she had for him, she couldn't look me in the eye. I felt like my entire relationship had been a lie. I had spent 3 years thinking I was building something real with someone who truly loved me, only to find out that I had just been a replacement. I wanted to be angry. I wanted to yell, to demand answers, to ask her why the hell she even stayed with me if she still had feelings for him. But all I felt was numb. I asked her if she had ever cheated on me. She immediately said no, but after everything she had just admitted, how was I supposed to believe her? I pressed her on it, asking if she had ever talked to him, if she had ever even thought about going back to him. She hesitated again. And that hesitation was like a knife to my chest. She finally admitted that he had reached out to her a few months ago. That they had talked. That she had considered meeting up with him, but ultimately decided against it because she didn't want to hurt me. But was that really the reason? Or was it just because he didn't want her back? I felt like an idiot. Like the biggest fool in the world. I had spent years giving her my all, being the best boyfriend I could be, thinking we were happy, only to find out that she had been holding on to another man this entire time. That I was just the guy she settled for because I was the safer option. I didn't know what to do. Part of me wanted to walk out right then and there, to tell her we were done, to never look back. But another part of me, the stupid, pathetic part, still loved her. Still wanted to believe that maybe, just maybe, we could fix this. That she could choose me, fully and completely, the way I had chosen her. So I asked her. I asked her point blank if she wanted to be with me. Not because I was safe, not because I treated her well, not because I was the right choice, but because she wanted me. Because she couldn't imagine her life without me. And she didn't answer right away. She just sat there, staring at me, like she didn't know what to say. And that silence told me everything. I got up from the table and walked away. I didn't know where I was going, I just knew I needed to get out of there. She called after me, saying my name, telling me to wait, but I couldn't. I felt like I couldn't breathe. I walked out of the apartment and just kept walking, trying to make sense of everything. 3 years. 3 years of my life wasted on someone who never truly wanted me. I don't know what to do. I don't know if I can forgive her. I don't know if I want to forgive her. But part of me still isn't ready to let go. And I hate myself for that. Now I'm sitting here, writing this, hoping that maybe putting it into words will help me figure out what to do next. Should I just walk away? Should I give her a chance to prove she actually wants to be with me? Or am I just fooling myself, holding on to something that was never real in the first place? I don't know. But I need to decide soon. Because as much as I love her, I don't think I can live with being someone's second choice. I didn't go home that night. I couldn't. I spent hours just walking, trying to make sense of everything, replaying her words over and over again in my head. I had built my entire world around Emily. She was the person I trusted most, the person I had planned to spend my life with. And now? Now I felt like a complete idiot. Like I had been living in some fantasy while she had been silently longing for someone else. It was humiliating. It was gut-wrenching. And worst of all, I still wasn't sure what to do. At some point, I found myself at a small, 24-hour diner on the other side of town. I ordered a coffee, barely touched it, and just sat there, staring blankly at the table, lost in thought. Every time I closed my eyes, I could hear her voice again, admitting that she had never been with me for the reasons I thought she had. That I was just the safe choice. That she had still been in love with her ex when we started dating. And that even now, she didn't know if she loved me the way I loved her. The worst part was the hesitation. If she had instantly reassured me, if she had fought to prove that I was the one she wanted, maybe I could have clung to that. But she hadn't. She had hesitated. And that pause was louder than any words she could have spoken. I checked my phone at some point, realizing I had over a dozen missed calls from her. A few texts too, all saying the same thing. She wanted to talk. She wanted to explain. She wanted me to come home. But what was there to explain? She had already said it all. And I didn't know if I could stomach hearing anything else. Still, despite every part of me screaming to just ignore her, a pathetic little part of me still wanted answers. I didn't want to just disappear without knowing why. So against my better judgment, I finally called her back. She picked up instantly, her voice frantic. She asked me where I was, if I was okay, if I was coming home. I told her I was fine, but I needed time. She kept saying she wanted to talk, that she needed me to understand. I told her I didn't know if I even wanted to understand. That was when she broke down, sobbing over the phone, begging me to just come back so we could talk face to face. And I caved. Like an idiot, I caved. When I got back to our apartment, she looked like a mess. Her eyes were red and puffy, her hair was a disaster, and she looked like she hadn't stopped crying since I left. I almost felt bad. Almost. But then I remembered why I had left in the first place, and any sympathy I felt was buried under the crushing weight of betrayal. She ran up to me, tried to hug me, but I stepped back. I couldn't do it. I couldn't just pretend everything was okay. She looked hurt by that, but she nodded, wiping at her face before motioning for me to sit down. She started talking immediately, words tumbling out of her mouth like she had been holding them in for years. She told me that when she first met me, she had been fresh out of the worst relationship of her life. That her ex, Daniel, had completely destroyed her. He had cheated, manipulated her, made her feel worthless. And when she met me, I was the opposite of him. I was kind, patient, safe. And at the time, that was exactly what she needed. She told me she had never meant for things to get this serious. That at first, she just wanted something simple, something comforting. But then, somewhere along the way, she actually fell for me. She swore up and down that she loved me, that she loved the life we had built together, but that she had never fully let go of the past. That she had spent so long being hurt by Daniel that a part of her had never stopped comparing us. She kept saying she didn't know why, that she hated herself for it, that she had tried to bury those feelings and focus on me. But when Daniel reached out to her a few months ago, all those buried emotions had come rushing back. I asked her if she still loved him. She froze, her face crumbling. And I felt like my heart was being ripped out of my chest all over again. I told her I needed the truth. No more sugarcoating. No more half-truths. Just the full, unfiltered reality. She took a deep breath and admitted that she didn't know. That she wasn't sure if it was him she missed, or just the version of herself she had been before he broke her. That when she talked to him, she felt a rush of nostalgia, of what could have been. And that terrified her because she knew she should only want me. But she didn't say she didn't love him. And that silence was deafening. I asked her if she wanted to be with him. If he asked her to leave me right now, would she go? She shook her head furiously, saying no, that she could never do that to me, that she loved me too much. But at this point, how was I supposed to believe her? She had already admitted that she had spent our entire relationship feeling something for another man. Even if she stayed, how could I ever be sure it was because she truly wanted me, and not just because I was the easier option? She kept begging me to believe that she loved me, that she wanted to make this work, that she would do anything to prove she was serious about us. But the damage was done. I couldn't unhear what she had said. I couldn't unfeel the betrayal. It wasn't just about her past feelings for her ex. It was the fact that for 3 years, she had been lying to me by omission. She had let me believe we were something we weren't. She had let me build my future around a version of her that never truly existed. And I didn't know if I could live with that. I told her I needed space. Real space. That I wasn't sure if I could keep doing this. She panicked, grabbed my hands, begged me not to leave. But I had to. I couldn't stay in that apartment, not with everything swirling around in my head. I packed a bag, ignoring her sobs, and walked out the door. She called after me, saying my name over and over again like it could somehow undo everything. But it was too late. I drove to my friend's place and crashed on his couch. I told him everything, and he just sat there, shaking his head. He told me what I already knew but didn't want to accept. That I deserved better. That if she truly loved me, she would have never entertained a conversation with her ex. That I had spent 3 years being someone's second choice, and I needed to start putting myself first. Now I'm sitting here, staring at my phone, wondering if I made the right call. She hasn't stopped texting me, begging me to come back, saying she'll do anything to fix this. But can this even be fixed? How do you rebuild something when you're not even sure if the foundation was ever real? I don't know if this is the end. A part of me still loves her. A part of me wants to believe that she can prove herself, that she can finally let go of the past and choose me fully. But another part of me wonders if I'm just setting myself up for more heartbreak. I need to decide soon. Because I don't know how much more of this I can take.